The most addictive thing in the world, more than coffee, more than tea, more than alcohol, cigarettes, is the monthly paycheck. How you do anything is how you do everything. If you feel like you're stuck in a 9 to 5, you're also going to be stuck in your own business.
You wanted to open a Vada Pav truck. Are you mad? Like, why?
Work has to be managed, not people.
Stay invested in people. You can't thrust your decision into your team. Experience is important, but experience is not all.
Our largest deal was closed with a 5-hour conversation that I had with the client where we never discussed the project at all. If there is one skill that any entrepreneur needs to have, it's that the ability to assess risk. You are paid in direct proportion to the complexity of the problem you solve.
Best sales lesson you've ever learned in your life?
You have to think of cash as a state of flux. Cash is always in a flow. So we won that project. We delivered the whole project and that client didn't pay us a single rupee.
What?
I broke into tears because it was absolute rock bottom of my life.
Cut the loss and move on. Mistakes happen.
Man plans and God laughs.
BOSScast, the making of a boss.
I know after watching this, you're pretty excited to watch the full episode. Welcome to BOSScast. My name is Keshav Puri, and today's bosses are not just founders. They are problem solvers, system builders, and friends turned co-founders. We've got two amazingly different minds with us. Maulik Doshi, CEO, and Praveen Lewis, COO of WarpDrive, a tech services company that went from a 2-person dream to a 400+ member powerhouse, that too, all bootstrapped. In this episode, you'll learn why most services business fail to scale and how they cracked it. How they run operations across 18 industries with sharp execution. Why they built their own SaaS instead of relying on external tools. How they manage client delays, cash flow, and team morale without panic. And most importantly, the happy mantra that keeps their people motivated, loyal, and have loving Mondays. If you are building a tech business or leading a growing team, this episode is for you. Let's get started.
Boss Wallah. Be the boss.
Tell the viewers about who you are and what you do, all of that.
So WarpDrive is a software services company. We solve business problems for our clients.
Okay.
And the tool we use is technology.
Got it.
So that's how we've chose to define it, because there are a lot of non-business problems. Sometimes there is, management between the founder, organizational design, there's HR. But we say these are all business trade problems. So sales, service, marketing. So those are the problems that we solve, and we solve it by building software. So we advise them on what the client could be doing, and we then build them the software that actually delivers that.
Wow,
So
nice.
that's what WarpDrive does.
I think both of us are, we come from a client obsession school.
Okay.
And services comes very naturally to the two of us.
Uh-huh.
And what I do is I ensure that we have clients.
Yeah.
And I also ensure that we continue to have them by serving them right.
Correct.
What we promise during sales is what we deliver during services.
Super, yeah. But I got to know that, Maulik takes care of the easiest part of the business and you are handling the complexities. So is that true, Praveen?
That's a popular joke.
But if you can tell us that how you divide the roles between the two of you.
So like I said, I handle sales
Right.
and delivery.
Okay.
So originally I was never a salesperson. All the sales I do today is something I've learned from working with Maulik together. Delivery is something that comes to me naturally. I come from a tech background. So I handle delivery, I handle sales.
Perfect.
But Maulik, I'll allow Maulik to tell
Yes,
what he
Maulik.
does.
No, I think from having worked together for so long, nearly 11 years now,
Yeah.
both of us have a very good understanding of where each of us ends and the other begins.
Right.
So Praveen comes from a technical background, but of course he's very good with sales, very good with relationships, so it comes naturally to him. I come from a finance, from a sales background, and then technology was something I was already, I enjoyed it a lot since I was a young child. So both of us are techno-functional, both of us are techno-commercial in that sense. And since when we started the company, I used to look at sales, Praveen used to look at delivery. There was a plan at one point of time when I was supposed to retire when I was about 30 years old.
Really?
So that's what our original understanding
Yeah.
was when we got together.
Okay.
That I would retire when I was 30.
Okay.
And Praveen would continue running the organization and take it to different heights.
Wow.
So in preparation for that, Praveen took over the sales function.
Okay.
And he's just been rocking it since then. And I think we've also seen the value of having sales and delivery both handled by the same person. Exactly what Praveen said, that what we promise to the customer in sales is what should come through in delivery. And if two people are doing that, there's a gap created, right? So
Very
of
nice.
course there are teams. Praveen works with people over there, but he is responsible for both of those functions, and that's maybe been one of our positive success factors.
But I think you define this really well, as friends can be founders as well. All right, so you started bootstrapped. No VC, no capital, nothing. You were in some great jobs. And on top of it, you wanted to open a Vada Pav truck. Are you mad? Like, why? From jobs to Vada
I have to
Pav.
look at you.
Yeah, we can start with Maulik. Come on. From jobs to Vada Pav to
Yeah.
Bob Drive.
So I've done 2 jobs before. I started working quite early in my life. I come from a business family. My father was in the marketing and distribution business for a few consumer durable brands. So business was something that was like dinner time conversation, and I always knew that I would want to do something of my own. But there was a dramatic turn of events at my home. At the age of 19, I had a falling out with my family, and I said, मैं जा रहा हूँ, I will set up my own way in life, I don't need your support. And I should have thought that through.
Quite
because,
capable.
I only had some 400 rupees in my pocket. I spent 200 rupees of that going to my friend's house. And I remember it was a very emotional moment for me in that friend's house when I was eating dinner that night. I broke into tears because I had the realization that I can't afford this food I'm eating. I'm eating off someone's mercy. This is like their bakshish. They are giving me alms, and that's what I'm surviving on. So it was absolute rock bottom of my life. Thankfully, I had a lot of good friends around who kept me motivated, and I then applied for a job at this one place that I had actually got a proposal from. I wanted to build out an app. At that time, iPads were very new, and I wanted to build a tablet app. So I had spoken to this web agency, and the founder of that company had sent me a proposal. And I replied to his proposal with my CV, and I'm like, you know what, actually I want to come work for you. And he was very skeptical, and he was like, wait, like this doesn't make sense. But he was quite nice about it. He actually offered me an internship then, and he said a line to me that, you know, you can come and join, but I want you to continue looking for other jobs. And here was a stranger who didn't know me more than like from 2 meetings, but he was willing to support me and say, look, I'll help you sustain, and let's see if you do well here, but please continue looking for other jobs. So that was something really touching. And when I first met him, I said, you know what, like I was a very young kid. I had taken part in a lot of college competitions. I had won those. So I was coming off with a lot of confidence.
Fire.
तोड़ देंगे, कुछ भी कर लेंगे.
Correct. Fold देंगे.
So I said, you know what, I'll handle sales, I'll handle HR, I'll handle recruitment, I'll handle finance, I'll handle everything. And he was like, whoa, slow down, right? Like, I think you should do one thing, which is look at business development. That's the most value creating thing in the organization. And from there, we can build up things. And so like, looks like you want to be a fixer. I'm like, hey, that's a nice way to describe it. That's a nice ring to it. And then I started as an intern, did incredibly well with the sales in the initial phase itself, and it converted to a full-time job. And he asked me, like, you know, okay, what title do you want? And I said, hey, I want my title to be fixer. So my business card said fixer, and I saw myself as a fixer. So whatever it took in that organization, I didn't see myself as an employee. So I brought a lot of agency, I brought a lot of enterprise to the place where whether it was buying tables, whether it was installing air conditioners, installing curtains, whatever it took, I would do it. If I had to talk to the landlord, I had to arrange whether the maid is not coming for cleaning, I would do it. And I felt like some of the things that were promised to me, some of the expectations that were set were not really getting matched when the organization was growing. And it felt like it was natural to leave from there. And then I left that organization. And then I joined the company where Praveen and I worked together.
Okay.
Again, joined at the very bottom of the food chain in the sales angle. I didn't know how to do enterprise selling. I didn't know what the product was. I didn't know I didn't know a lot of things that were to be done in that industry, and was suddenly thrown into the deep end of the pool and said, "Chalo, there's this Reliance is starting a telecom company. Go pitch to them." And we sort of learned on the job. Again, I had some great colleagues, people who I could really look up to, who I learned a lot from. And we built up that organization also. Within a few months, I think once we started really hitting the groove with sales, I can confidently say that Praveen and I, we set the market on fire. And I didn't know what I would do next. I actually quit in a very, in the heat of the moment, because something that just didn't align with my values was happening, and I said, okay, I'm done and I'm leaving.
I didn't know. I was in the US when he had
Right.
quit.
When this
And
happened.
and I got to know reactively.
Oh, okay.
And like, are you serious? He's like,
Oh.
yeah, I'm out.
Okay. So how did you guys meet? Just tell us that.
So we worked in the previous organization together. Praveen had joined there to head their delivery. He comes from a lot of large organizations. He's Mindtree, Infosys, he's worked at Toyota, Accenture, Capgemini. And then he came to the previous company that we worked in. And I came from a lot of small companies. Then I joined the same company where Praveen was. And we were both introduced to each other in a context where Praveen was told that, see, you have to meet this guy, like he's a young guy, he's like a hot shot, but you know, you have to contain him, you have to channelize him, right? That's how we'll get the best value out of him. And I was told that I was joining to, be the CEO of a new unit for that company.
Okay.
So I would have a lot of leadership and I would build my own team. And by the way, we've got this very smart, very capable person from Accenture. He's coming to lead our delivery, so you should meet him. So I went like I was meeting a peer.
Right.
He was meeting me like this is someone he had to control.
बच्चा है इसको बताना है.
Okay. कौन बाप है? So we started off like that. And then we were working on a very large pitch together, maybe which was we were trying to bite off more than we could have ever chewed. We were told at that time what was Reliance is starting a telecom company, so we should go pitch over there.
Okay.
And it later got named as Geo, and we've seen it from their first logo from before it was even called Geo.
Right.
So we started working on that opportunity. Praveen, of course, has a very solid track record in the technology, which even today we work in. He had a unique distinction of being one of the people who started the practice of Salesforce.com, that's the technology,
Right.
at Capgemini.
Okay.
You know, I was coming out of General Motors. This was the time around when General Motors and Ford were having a bit of a financial trouble, so a lot of projects were not coming. So a bunch of seniors like us were released, and luckily around at the same time, someone in Capgemini woke up and said that, let's start doing something on cloud, because cloud is getting traction.
Right.
And in cloud, what are the technologies that are in the forefront?
Right.
And a bunch of us got together, we figured out Salesforce is a tool that we should invest in. First, we all got certified, struggled, failed multiple times, then got certified, figured what this whole software is about, and then started building the practice. We got all large customers to start with, and pretty significant ones. And by the time I left, in about 2.5 years, since the time I started this practice along with a bunch of others, the team size was around 200.
Wow.
And it grew, and from there on, it became a very large practice. And Capgemini used to be running one of the largest Salesforce practice.
Wow.
After a while.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Then why, Vada Pav truck?
So I was getting a few job offers, some pretty interesting job offers.
Okay.
And then we said we'll start something. Praveen and I, we used to spend a lot of time in Bombay as a part of our work.
Okay.
I used to be in Bombay at least twice a week. I would do 4 to 5 flights every single week.
Okay. For work.
For work.
Okay.
And there was that one Jet Airways Monday morning flight at 8:15. I was always on it. The air hostesses would look at me and say, "Good morning, Mr. Doshi. Welcome back to Jet Airways."
Super.
So I was very regular. I used to travel a lot. And in Mumbai, we don't really have the convenience of restaurants, sit-down space.
Okay.
So typically we are running from one meeting to the other. There's a client. We've taken a break from a meeting to get a quick bite. And Vada Pav is what Mumbai runs on.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It's available everywhere. It's ubiquitous. It's tasty. And we felt like that's something we should bring to Bangalore. And Praveen was, of course, going to continue working there. I wanted to start something, and Praveen was also going to be an investor. And I was going to start this Vada Pav food truck. It just felt like a good business. The numbers all added up. So we said we'll start. And Vada Pav has now become Warp Drive, and we are like 9 years in.
Lovely.
So we
Still
knew
there,
we wanted
still
to.
there.
We knew we wanted to start something. I think eventually then Praveen also decided to come. There was some very clear business opportunity in front of us. Praveen decided to quit and come back. That caused a lot of friction, caused a lot of issues around us on nearly every front, personal, professional.
Yeah.
But we felt like this is something we want to do together, and more than anything else, initially Warp Drive was like a social experiment.
Okay.
We felt like companies are not run the way that they should be run. Companies are not trusting of their employees. They don't create an environment and an enabling culture. It's a culture which is very hierarchical. There is someone to report to, there's someone to answer to. And we felt instead if we allow people an environment that they can express themselves, they can have the freedom to make mistakes, they can do things that seem to resonate and make sense to them, then whatever we did is incidental.
Correct.
Like we feel like we could have been selling some knockoff shoes on a street corner, and that can also be a very successful enterprise if it's done in the right way, if it's done with handling people in the right way.
Very nice.
So that's how we started off.
So why bootstrap? Why no VC coming in? And since you guys come from very humble backgrounds, just to tell people out there.
No, so that on that part, it's more pronounced on my side.
Okay.
Because business as a concept itself is very new to me.
Okay.
I had so much trust in him,
Uh-huh.
which I continue to, obviously.
Right.
I said, see, listen, business side you take care of, right? I know what I know. I can do tech, I can do delivery. But business is yours, right? You understand business. I come from a very, salaried background. My dad was retired Air Force personnel. My mom was a teacher. Both of them retired. But that's the background I'm from, right? So I don't understand business. But I knew that I wanted to do something with him because we enjoyed the partnership, and around the same time I was also feeling suffocated with the whole transaction, the way it was done, and not very comfortable. I was not taken into consensus about anything. So around that time when this idea came, to go back to your bootstrap question, right? Like why were we not tempted to speak to an investor? Bunch of reasons. The first and foremost is confidence.
Okay.
We were anyways confident about us. We knew that together we'll definitely be able to bring business. Bringing business was not the biggest problem. Delivering the business was what we had to figure out because we need people, we have to pay them their salaries and all that. So first and foremost, confidence was the biggest reason. Second, we have done it. We were a mini entrepreneur in the previous company.
Okay.
We were running everything on our own,
Yes.
right? We had earned the trust to be able to run everything on our own. So we knew what it takes to build a team, hold a team together, win a customer's confidence, and stay consistent at it. These are the 4 things
So
you
I
need
think
to be
in the
successful.
job also, if you have the right attitude, if you keep the
100%.
things in that way, you can be an
100%.
entrepreneur, as you mentioned.
Absolutely.
And you can later have your own company, organization the way you want.
Correct.
So it starts from very base.
That's actually the best way to do it, right? Let's say like in both of the jobs I worked in a lot of the jobs Praveen's worked in, we did very well for the organization because we were willing to put ourselves out there, to take some risks, to believe and behave like we owned the place.
Very nice. So when you start as a bootstrap company, a lot of initial setbacks, hardships come on the way. What were they, if you can define a few, and how did you handle them?
Is this a 10-part documentary?
I knew I'm hitting the wrong chord, but just 1 or 2, which is like the biggest setbacks, and then how you handle. Yeah, Praveen.
No, I think he'll be the right person to say. But yes, we did have. We started well. We started with all the glory, everything in place. But, we started facing our first hurdle almost instantly.
Okay.
You should.
As per our business plan, by now we should have been
a billionaire.
the largest industrialist in the country. And spreadsheet magic can sometimes be very deceiving. Because in a spreadsheet, when you're saying, "Arey, दूसरे महीने तक इतना revenue
Everything
होगा,
seems
इतने
possible.
client, इतने लोग होंगे, इतना profit होगा, ये होगा." But there's a saying, right? Like man plans and God laughs.
Right.
That's what happened to us, right? we started off with a lot of confidence, like Praveen said. We had 2 committed customers, independent of each other, and we knew that by the time we hire 40, 50 people, that will barely be enough to be serving these customers. So that was something that we were quite confident about. We went around, we hired people. We didn't even build up a sales pipeline. We then said, okay, we need so many people, and we got to a team of about 11 people, highly paid, highly capable. And then both of these customers, independent of each other, pulled out and said that actually we can't do this work together.
What?
The first one had some change in their board, and some investors had installed a new chief revenue officer, and this person decided, currently we are not adding new partners, we're just going to fix things with all our existing partners. And in the second company, they decided that we are not going to outsource this requirement, we are going to insource this requirement. So we were suddenly left with 11 people, no business, a lot of issues going on around, when we left from our previous organization, there was a lot of trouble that got created in our personal lives. Like Praveen was saying, his wife had already moved to the US. She had set up a home, she had bought the furniture. Praveen and his daughter were supposed to be shifting, and they decided to stay back. Everything that could go wrong went wrong. Everything that could not go wrong went wrong. And we now had this situation where there's no business. So we somehow scrambled, called up friends, called up people we knew, and we were doing free projects for them. But the team didn't know that we are doing these for free.
Okay.
Because if that word got around, that hey, these
Very
corporate
negative.
people don't have, unka kuch kaam nahi hai, they don't really have much business. Then we, we've broken our legs before we started.
Right.
So we did some free projects, and in all this somehow we got like one saving grace. There's a customer who said, I have this incredible idea, and they had the quick commerce idea 10 years ago. His idea was that we'll do e-commerce deliveries in 20 minutes.
Okay.
And the way he wanted to do it is, he said, we will keep all our inventory in vans all around the city. When a customer places an order, whichever van which is closest will go over there and deliver it. So there's no go down and there's no pick up and drop off.
Okay.
And it was a really interesting business idea. That person was very well to do. In the initial sales meetings when we were going there, Praveen's a big petrol head, so we specifically noticed this. But this client had just bought an Aston Martin DB9. He had just bought a Hummer. And we thought, okay, financially
Sorted. Yeah.
And we were closing the deal, and he, of course, negotiated with us quite hard. And he had only one request of us, that can you deliver this project quickly?
And you have already team who's sitting there.
We are like, Dhoni बैठा है, Kohli बैठा है, we have all
And a lightning speed we can deliver.
hot stars. और आप पूछ रहे हो कि हम 6 मार सकते हैं? Like, हाँ भाई, एक बॉल में 12 रन मार देंगे. So we won that project.
Amazing.
And we delivered the whole project. And that client didn't pay us a single rupee.
What?
Yeah.
So 2 clients backed out, and
then
one guy who.
The saving grace that
Oh
came.
my God.
It was a 28 lakh rupees project, which was a lot of money for us back then. It was almost about 3 months of more runway. And he didn't pay us any money.
आपका काम हो चुका है. The work is done, delivered, everything is gone.
All this happened
have a
when we
sign.
realized that the work is over and we went to deliver the work is when things started slowing on the other side.
Oh.
We had a signed contract, we had everything.
Yeah.
But they just didn't pay us. And money then became so tight for us that our office, we used to work in Koromangala, and this client's office was in Hebbal. We could not afford the fuel cost
Correct.
to go to his office to ask him for the money.
I used to go in the morning, stay there till almost up to evening, and then he'll give me a glimpse. I'll only get a glimpse of him. And in that 15-20 minutes, I'll have to discuss everything, explain the situation, I'll get one more promise, and then I'll come back. The same thing repeated so many different times, in so many different days. But we had to.
Yeah, it wasn't about our egos then, it was about survival.
My God.
So this was like rock bottom for us. I think those few months that all these situations were going on, neither of us have slept more than a few hours in the night. It was really troublesome. We were then also wondering that, hey, what are all these ideas you're holding? We're keeping the team together. We should just tell the team, hey, we can't pay salaries right now. It's very common. But
No, I still remember one of these days I was pinging him and saying, hey, I have 450 rupees in my bank account. and in next 4 days we have to pay salary, 4 or 5 days, and that's all was left. Forget our expenses. I was not even
All
talking
our
about
savings, everything. There was all very rosy plans when we started, but
Oh my God.
we were wiped out. There was just nothing to go on. There was nothing encouraging, and that's when we both had like a very real talk, and we said, okay, what do we do now? And we figured that let's give this one last shot. Somebody's cheated us out of this 28 lakh rupees. Let us borrow this 28 lakh rupees. So we borrowed it from a family member, and we said that we are going to give this one last shot. If this also fails, then we calculated the risk. So we said if this fails, then both of us will have to get back into jobs, and we calculated it will take us roughly 2 years to
We'll
be
pay
able
that
to
money
save
back.
that amount of money and pay it back, which we said fine. Like we'd have to make sacrifices in those 2 years and
Of course.
limit our lifestyles and all that, but we said yeah, that's what we are signing up for, and we borrowed that money. Thankfully, life and our fortunes turned a corner from then.
Okay.
We signed on our first client, and we signed on our second client, and we signed on
And
our
this
third
worked.
client.
this first or second client also goes back to what we were saying in the beginning, right? Invest in people. Where that gem of skill and gem of people who were working with us then, that a very tough assignment came in front of us, where this customer in the US, a friend was serving him, and they had given a problem statement which revolves around Salesforce, the skill that both of us have known to work on, and he was not able to deliver. So he reached out to me around that time, at a time where we were deciding, hey, what do we do with this company? He reached out and he said, this is the problem statement, can you solve? Again, we have Dhoni, Rohit Sharma, everyone sitting on the bench, right?
Correct.
We just have to get into the call and solve the problem, and we were able to. What they were thinking that we would take about 4 or 5 weeks to complete. In a week's time, we were able to solve the problem, we were able to demonstrate it, and we were able to take over from the other partner who was serving this customer. So I think this whole idea of investing into people stems from that experience.
I think the absolute biggest boss move that I made, which made all of the difference, is that I found a person who was the most trustworthy, the smartest, the most dependable individual that I knew, and I made him my co-founder.
And he's crying right now, I see. Pagle rulayega kya?
I was going to say same here. He just told my brother.
Nice.
That
Very
choice,
nice.
I think, has made potentially all the difference.
Same, exactly the same.
Amazing.
Any time of the day, I would say the same.
Amazing.
And I think we are very good friends. We are like brothers.
I can see that.
Other mothers.
Yeah, I can see that.
So that has held us in good stead. There's very little friction. I think in these nearly 9 years of running a company together and about 11 and a half years of working together, maybe we've had 3 or 4 times where there's been friction that has boiled over. But those happen very rarely. I think we come out from that very quickly and we move on from that. So I'd say having a co-founder is very valuable, is very meaningful. Someone that you can trust, someone that, like one of the litmus tests that I use for recruiting, and I think maybe a lot of your viewers could even look at it for when they're seeing a co-founder, is that there's 2 questions to ask. That if this person was sitting next to me for the next 20 years of my working life, am I okay with it?
Oh, wow.
And the other question is, if I was stuck in an elevator with this person for 20 hours, would I be okay with it?
Wow.
And
Nice,
if
yeah.
both of those are yes, then you know that you have good synergy with the person.
But how do you manage your mental stability, bro? Like, come on. If I would have been your place, I would have gotten mad and I don't know, whatever, like suicidal thoughts and all of that. But mentally staying strong is something which a lot of entrepreneurs are not able to achieve or not able to,
I think,
balance that.
There's no magic wand to it. We have had our problems. We have had these situations, downturns, where both of us have taken those hit on our mental strength. We had each other's, and that's very important. I think what we felt is when I felt weak, he was there. When he was weak, I was there, and that has to work for you.
Support worked for you.
If you're getting your partners right in a business, you're 90% business success is taken care of. Because there are going to be those situations, there are going to be those issues. You're not going to have answers for all the problems. But if you're there for each other, you will get over it. You will say, okay, it happened, now what? Move to the next step.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah.
You'll get the best solution when you're calm and cool and you're talking
There's
about
the-
the success you've had.
Right.
There's an Einstein quote
Uh-huh.
which goes, a question that sometimes drives me hazy. Is it me or the others who are crazy?
Oh, nice, yeah.
So whenever we feel like we are going crazy, we feel no, actually we are sane. बाकी लोग सब कुछ, yeah.
Amazing. So, what was the breakthrough moment?
This was a client who had already chosen to use this technology, Salesforce, and unfortunately they were struggling with it. They then took a call that we are going to migrate off this technology, we'll find another solution. And the requirement came to us as, these people need someone to hold the fort for them until they can get off it, because business operations shouldn't
right.
suffer. And of course, this is not like it's not very honorable work. It's not something to look forward to. You know that you're starting a project that's going to die out very quickly. But then we were so desperate, we were so hungry. Then we said, okay, look, we will get into this. And when we were set up for a meeting with that founder, it was actually quite hard to reach him. Somehow, with a lot of follow-up, he said, okay, let's meet tomorrow. And even when we fixed that meeting, I remember just the evening before, he messaged me saying, oh, you know what, by the way, Malik, we've decided to go ahead with your previous company, and he named the company. So let's not meet. And I said, that's fine, but I'm happy to come meet you anyway, give you some perspective. Maybe it'll help you.
Yeah.
There's no commitment, no pressure on you.
That's how
to
you
do the
try.
meeting.
Yeah.
So I've been around in this ecosystem and I might be able to give you some input. So he agreed to that meeting. It was quite early in the morning. He gave me like a half an hour slot. I think it's 8:30 in the morning. I showed up over there, and the person who was heading that Salesforce practice for a 30 minutes meeting, he came 25 minutes late.
Whoa.
And now I only had 5 minutes. That portion of my life,
Lord.
I don't know what happened. I don't know what I said in those 5 minutes. But it was enough to make them feel that they should talk to us a little more.
Yeah.
And then their teams came, spent a couple of days in our office, and we feel quite proud to say that from an organization that was choosing to go off this technology, about a year later, these guys were the largest customer to Salesforce in India. And the kind of use cases we implemented, the kind of confidence that we built in the trust that we built in the client was just so reassuring, gave us so much confidence that when they would take their internal product decisions of what their engineering team had to build, they would first say that check if this can be built on Salesforce by the warp drive guys first. And if that is suboptimal, then let's go ahead and build it with our own engineering team. So our team,
Wonderful.
like some of those early rock stars, Chandu, Kunal, Amit, a lot of these guys slept at the client offices. They did whatever it took. We would be there every single day. And the client succeeded. We created a lot of value for the client. That's how we were able to create some.
And I
value
think
for
that's what it
ourselves.
takes, man, to build something, These are the sacrifices that you were telling about. When I saw your website and LinkedIn pages and all that, there is a lot of happy people, happy team, happy customers. A lot of happy is what I was seeing throughout. So what is this mantra that you're following? And I'm sure this will help a lot of founders or probably new budding entrepreneurs who are watching us right now. Why you stick to that mantra?
So happiness is something that both of us realized and both of us agreed that it's the only important factor there is. Everything else is a temporary, everything else is a transient and ephemeral factor. Right?
Even money.
Even money. It isn't something that there will never be enough. And happiness is a state of being for us. Happiness is not like a place we have to reach. So a maxim that we live by is that we do things happily and not for happiness. So everything that we do, we are meeting you here right now, we are having this conversation, we are incredibly happy doing it. And that's something that if we take care of, if we are happy over short-term time curves, and over long-term time curves, of course, we would have had a compounding effect and been very, very happy. So I think because of some personal journeys, because of joint journeys, we realized that, look, we can chase headcount, we can chase some finances, we can try to be big as bad as mean as tech, but those are all superlatives which don't matter in the infinite game. Right? We're not playing a finite game with finite rules. There is no end point to this. There is no winner, there is no loser, there are no clear rules to business. So when that is the situation, what are we trying to get some sort of a status for? That status isn't going to last. So instead, if we are happy each and every day, if we wake up, if we look forward to the next day, then this is all worth it.
Registration and licenses in services business is a hell of a task to do. You know, it takes a lot of time. So how do you cope up with that, and how do you manage that? Because until unless you have to get that registration happen, you have to get that license.
Compliance is unfortunately quite hard. Just the number of different compliances that we need, and it's not a single window that it all comes through from. So you need to register your entity, you need a GST registration, you need a shops and establishments registration, there is your PAN, there is a TAN, there is a PF registration when you're applicable, there's ESI. All of this is very opaque, it's quite hard to navigate. It's important you find a good chartered accountant, a good company secretary who can help you through all this. For us, we were quite aware of how to go about it, I think because of the background in chartered accountancy that I have. But it still took us nearly 3 months before we could actually even receive money from customers.
So it's better to go to some third party vendor and take help.
Oh, for sure.
Rather than
I think it's
yourself
nearly
struggling.
impossible to do it yourself. And even when you work with those professionals, they also take their time. So you can't open a bank account until most of this compliance is in place. So even if you have a customer, even if you've done the work, you can't really receive the money. So that is something maybe an entrepreneur has to take in their stride and say that the government is a very important stakeholder in the business. And unfortunately, it can slow you down on many fronts.
When you speak to any client, any customer of yours, what is that, and how do you plan that? Okay, I'll speak about this, and this is what I'm offering, and I'm likely to get a yes from there.
So I think what we've learned to do over the years, which is a surprisingly rare but extremely useful skill, is that we go in and meet customers where we are first listening and not just waiting for our chance to speak.
Okay.
So, this happens sometimes when we introduce ourselves to people we are meeting newly. In our minds, we are so caught up in having to say our own name. We don't pay attention when that person says their name. But if you come to think of it, if you just get fully attentive to hearing that person's name, when it's your turn to say your name, you obviously know your name.
Right.
It will come to you. You don't need to already start anticipating and build it up. And that same thing applies for a customer conversation. It isn't really about what we are going to say and this is what we've prepared, because we are in the services business. We need to understand what the client needs and then tell them how we can solve it for them.
Right.
We are not going there saying, hey, this is our solution. Do you have a problem for this? We are saying, what is your problem? Let us see if we have a solution for it. So that a very intentional listening and then responding, as opposed to going in and just being reactive and saying that, hey, this is what I can do, or hey, like the customer wants to talk about them. They don't want to hear about us. There are hundreds of us who's mailing them saying, hey, I run this technology company, I do this. But like, why does the customer care? Why should they even give you the time of the day?
Correct.
The customer cares because it's their problem that you're solving, not your solution that you're pushing into their problems.
Got it. But
So
some
we listen.
homework you have to do, no? Because they might think of, okay, you have not done your homework, you don't know what I'm going through.
Oh yeah.
You might have done some research
think
before
we
you
have
are.
got-
No, so contextual homework we would do.
Okay.
Very early in our career, both of us worked for this giant tire manufacturing company.
Okay.
And we are talking about people who are managing 20,000 crores business.
Okay.
So if I'm going to go and stand there and talk only about what I can provide without giving any respect or without showing them that I've done homework about their company, this is not it's a non-starter.
It's a non-starter.
So I still remember him and I, while flying who would take all materials. We'll discuss, okay, this is what this company does. These are the problem areas. This is what we can pitch on. These are the areas we don't want to touch. Yes, depending on the conversation.
Correct.
Where you're going into a conference where they are more prepared and they expect you to be prepared. We have to do that homework. That goes without saying.
What inspired you to bring automation so soon in your business? And because as I hear you, I understand that you guys rely a lot on automation and you focus on that as well a lot. So what inspired you in the beginning, 2016, 17, when you thought of, okay, I'll have this in a core part of my business?
It's a combination of experience and willingness to invest for the future. What we saw was chaos, right? I mean, we had worked together when there was scaling happening. There was some level of chaos which was resulting in slowing down us, right? And this chaos was slowing us down significantly. There were people dependencies that were getting created unnecessarily. So a person A takes a leave and disappears for about 2-3 days, 2-3 weeks to handle his personal situation. Work can't be stalled, but we saw work getting stalled. These were the experiences we were carrying into this, whole journey at Wallah, right? And that's why we decided that in future, people also should be able to take leave without having to worry that, oh my God, who's going to take up the work? And at the same time, systems are also there to sort of assist anyone who comes as a replacement.
Got it.
Able to pick up things fast.
Very nice.
And everything is organized for the person to take it from there.
More easy for them also.
Yes.
So I see in services business, there's a chicken egg loop. Hire first or get the client first. How do you manage that, man? Because it's a tough game.
Yeah, it is.
It's, I think there is some amount of luck involved. You do have to catch a lucky break. But that chicken and egg have to almost come at exactly the same time where it's imperceptible which came first. Like I was saying earlier, right? Sales and delivery have to both be there. You can't promise something that you're not able to deliver. You can't over-promise and then under-deliver. It's fine to under-promise and then over-deliver. But
in the beginning, it's tough, no? Because you cannot hire like 50 people, 40 people.
So we felt our way forward. We moved a little slowly with it. So we did hire first. But incidentally for us, we already had that committed business. So they were both sort of there for us. But I feel typically maybe sales is the harder function, is the more unpredictable function. Delivery is more internal. Sales needs external success. Delivery needs internal success. So potentially sales is the first thing to crack, and then you should try to crack delivery. But like I said, it's almost like saying, hey, what should I walk with my left leg first or my right leg first?
Correct.
If you want to walk forward 100 kilometers, it doesn't matter what leg you started with.
Correct.
And you can't just limp on one leg and cross 100
Cross
kilometers.
that. Yeah, agree. How do you search the right tools for yourself? As in, where do you search? How do you get them?
Trial and error.
Okay.
Google. There are some websites like G2 Crowd. There are similar software similar. Or I think that name is failing me right now, but it essentially tells you if you know one tool, it tells you other tools that are similar to this.
Okay, nice.
So you research a few of them, you do some trials.
Got it.
And then eventually find what works for you. But it's a process. I don't think you can get it right in the first go.
Got it.
You'll make mistakes. Something that's right for you at one point of time isn't right for you at another point of time. So you have to constantly keep your eye open for this and be willing to invest into it. It's not an expense, it's an investment.
Got it. So when we come to finances, right, I want to understand from you, since you're handling a lot of it. Can you help me with some methods that you follow, some process, something that you've implemented and really worked well for you in terms of finances?
So what we are currently implementing in the company is we are starting to look at project level P&Ls. We are also starting to look at employee level P&Ls.
Okay.
So we are trying to measure the productivity of our team. We are trying to see that there are some people who are a very large cost to the company, but then there are also very large revenue generators for the company. There are some people who are not such large revenue generators. So if you take care of the pennies, the pounds will take care of themselves. So we're trying to go down to the most intricate level and keep an eye on our finances.
How to manage cash flow when the payments are delayed? and they're
you
stuck.
have-
He's the guy.
If you have an answer for it, please tell us.
But still, because delays have happened with your Lloyd and in
Yeah.
the beginning, and things have not moved right. So how did you manage cash flow then?
So we actually, for us, this whole point of view came because we felt we had an obligation to our employees, where their livelihoods, their families, their EMIs, their rent, their children's school fees are all dependent on us as an organization. So what we did is a goal that we had in the early stages was we kept increasing the amount of liquid cash that we had as a company.
Okay.
And we said we have X number of months of all expenses
Got it.
available in liquidity. So
Nice.
we got to a point where we had about 12 months where we said if every one of our clients fires us right now, which of course is very unlikely to happen,
Correct.
but assume every one of our clients fired us, how long can we survive paying all of the expenses that we have to? And that got to a point that was about 12 months, which worked, which gave us a lot of peace of mind,
Correct.
gave the team a lot of peace of mind. And then, of course, that has gone up and down. Growth is fairly expensive. We have to invest. We have to take chances. So that moves up and down. Cash flow becomes a challenge more often than we like it to. But we survive. I think we keep going at it. There will probably be one day that existential cash flows are not what will hold us back.
Right. So I want to understand when the business started growing. In the middle somewhere, after 2-3 years, one boss move again that you made, a small move, a larger impact, one pivot, one tech change, one system change, anything that you did.
I think during COVID, overnight we had to go remote.
Yes.
And one move we did before COVID, not knowing that COVID was going to hit us, saved us. Which
Okay.
is the systems, what I was talking about, right?
Uh-huh.
For some reason, we were already, because when we already started with a policy and a principle that people can work from anywhere. So if you're going to allow people to work, and we are talking about 2016, 2017
Right.
itself, we were prepared when we started the company that people can work from anywhere. All we wanted to count people's outcome was by outcome. You gauge a person's performance by looking at their outcome, right?
Correct.
So, we started working, investing a lot of time on systems. So our systems were already in place to allow people to work remotely. So today we were in office. Day after we were told you're not going to come to office, lockdown.
Correct.
And then we had to move 70 or 80 odd. By then we were around 70 to 80 people, completely remote. And I think that I would count as one very significant business move for us, because it would have been we knew companies like us went mad. I mean, they didn't know how to react. They didn't know how to respond.
Yeah.
Because they were
It was a
100% work from office companies.
Right.
And suddenly they went remote. Our customers did not know how to work with us.
Right.
Because they're not in office and they don't know how to work. They took a month. We had a real problem because they were taking months together to understand how to start working with
Correct.
partners.
Yeah, it
Because
was-
they're not used to. They themselves were not figuring out how to work, right? So I think this helped us quite a lot.
So
during
futuristic approach that you had in your mind, keeping things automated and
I mean,
systems.
now looking back at it, it looks like a futuristic approach. But at that time, it just felt like the right thing to do for our team.
Yeah.
We are a company that tries to have very few rules. One thing we commonly tell people is that we don't have a rule telling people that they have to wear clothes and come to the company, come to the office. But they wear clothes and so there is a lot of
Nice.
common sense that prevails, and
Nice.
that's where we said let's focus on the outcomes. If somebody is comfortable to work from their home, comfortable to work from a coffee shop, let them work. We are more interested, we are more aligned to the outcome. That's what matters more.
Yeah.
So we chose to give that flexibility as a part of the trust that we were showing in people. And that in hindsight looks futuristic, but
Right.
it just felt natural, normal at that time, and maybe it saved us during COVID.
It's said that scaling isn't just about doing more, it is about doing smarter. Right. So what tools and what workflows and what processes helped you manage 18 plus industries that you're serving right now with hundreds of clients that you have? So if you can explain a little on that, on systems.
Sounds like a difficult question, so
Is it?
I'll allow Praveen to answer that.
Complex answers are given by Praveen.
So, interestingly, the second half of the answer he will have to because
Sure.
it's his brainchild as well.
Uh.
But I think very early when we started scaling, we realized that automation, some form of automation will be required because there has to be a method to madness. We have seen mad scaling in the past and we didn't want to fall on the same trap. So we had established systems like I told you before. We had delivery systems, we had sales systems, we had quality systems in place before, but these were products that we purchased, right? We had purchased external products and customized it to suit our requirements. But eventually we figured out these were not scaling to our needs. And we had very specific needs. We had certain beliefs in how sales has to work, how pre-sales has to work, how marketing has to work, and for sure how delivery has to work. So to ensure that it wasn't all of this what I'm saying, we didn't get done overnight. We decided that we will have a system. We'll slowly start investing in the system that caters to our needs. So we start building what we call now as a work OS, a work operating system. It took its baby steps, but today our entire operations, whether it is sales, pre-sales or delivery, happens in this system. And this
Recruitment, lead management.
I'll hand it over to him. It is his brainchild. It's taken a shape of
Okay.
a product, a full-fledged product.
Nice.
So yeah, we call it Scotty.
Scotty.
You should-
When we talk about tech services, as a domain, it seems to be a great but risky business to start in India. Is that true? And if yes, what do you say about that?
So services, sales is probably a little harder. You have to build that trust.
Correct.
You're not able to just show it saying, "Dekho, ye hai, aap le lo."
Correct.
It's they want to understand you as a person. They want to understand your organization. So
Correct.
those risks are higher where they don't want to take the risk. Someone who's a buyer on the other side would rather work with a big company and remove their own risk than work with a small company. Because one of our clients said this to us in the past, right? When we were a small company, he said, when I work with you, I'm taking a risk because if you screw up the project, then I have screwed up. But if I work with a large multinational consulting company, which we have the budgets for, and if they screw up, then they have screwed up. Because if you screw up, I'll be asked a question internally that, hey, why did you choose these chotus, right? You should have chosen one of the big ones and been risk-free. So those are some of the challenges. Those are some of the difficult parts when you're starting off. But the risk of failure, I think, in a product and services are equally high. It's just in a product you've already invested so much upfront. In services, you can sell, you can grow the team slowly. So
Slowly, gradually.
Services, it's easy to start. It's difficult to handle, maintain and sustain, considering the changing market dynamics.
Correct.
The pressure is consistent. You need to learn how to handle the pressure, keep delivering, and like we've been telling always, right? There's a brand that gets created over a period of time.
Right.
To be consistent in managing the brand image. The product is slightly different.
Correct.
Upfront, the pressure is too high to make sure that the idea sells. Idea is right first, and it manifests into something that the market recognizes. Okay, yeah, this product we need.
Correct.
So the upfront pressure is quite high.
Correct.
But once it clicks, once it starts,
you're sorted.
It's a non-linear revenue. There's no people pressure. You're not building a team. So it's in that sense very different.
Correct. How is it to work with Indian clients?
what we've settled this at, we've discussed this quite often, is that we build our stories here in India, but we build our profits outside India.
Oh, okay.
So there are some very compelling use cases, very interesting challenges that we are able to solve here. But there is often a tendency, of course not all, and all our clients are great clients, but the ones that we didn't make our clients are tend to be fairly tight-fisted, tend to want a bargain. Like more often bargain hunters rather than value-driven, accretive.
Yeah, see, the challenge is the market is spoiled by providers who are, don't mind to position themselves as a cheap alternative. And some of these customers, unfortunately, are used to working with them.
Yeah.
There's a certain style they have developed over a period of time working with them. And there's this whole vendor mentality, right? Like, I'm working with a vendor. We, no matter who we are working with, we are very, very, very clear about the position that we work as partners. And we do deliver value And even if in the beginning they see us as a vendor, over a period of time they themselves realize that they are partners. And that's a problem. That's a problem in the Indian market. I think so much as we see customers to have a certain behavior, certain customers with certain behavior, we're also seeing that it's the providers who have also caused this kind of behavior.
It's a race to the bottom. The way that some of these customers have gotten used to, like Praveen was saying, treating these people as vendors, because those people treat themselves as vendors.
Correct. Got
So it's I don't know if we would generalize the whole Indian market like that. It's not necessary that
course.
So some of our best experience also has come from India.
Yeah.
Acha, so what do you say, like in India, and since you've got a lot of Indian clients, right? Verbal commitments are like better, or written deals if you have to like weigh them?
यार अपना business अभी भी चल रहा है यार क्या पूछ रहे हैं but it's a fair question to ask in Indian market
Correct,
context
of course,
for multiple reasons, right? Very important reason is, unlike the developed country, India is an emerging market, right?
Exactly.
So market scenarios change, they behave very, very different at a micro level and a macro level. So our experience with customers, big or small, doesn't matter. This has been our learning, the greatest learning, that communication has to be watertight. Relationship is very important. Building rapport with customers are very, very important at an individual level. But when it comes to commitment about delivery, it's important to keep it as watertight as possible, as clean and as clear as possible. And that goes beyond your verbal commitments or whatever. Try as much possible, keep everything in writing.
Very nice.
Yeah.
How do you evaluate if a client is going to be toxic before onboarding them?
We made a metric for this. We made a metric for this some time ago.
Really?
We called it the client maturity scale.
Acha.
So the way that we measured it was the revenue that we were generating from the client divided by the number of hours it required from the two of us to maintain. So sometimes there was very small clients that needed a lot of our time to manage. Like, this is a very low maturity client, we can't do this. And then there were some incredibly large clients who needed very little of our time. We're like, hey, this is exactly the kind of client that we want more of. So total revenue from the client divided by the number of hours that we are having to spend to take care of them.
Fantastic. Okay, so now we'll talk about the team part, building the team and delivering that. So you scaled from a very less team to now about 400 plus, right? So what do you think of having a lean performing team in the beginning, or probably having, what is the right team for you? How one hire that?
So we don't get up in the morning thinking we'll become a 1,000-member company.
Okay.
It's never been, number is not what we chase.
Okay.
We know there's a market, we know there's a business, we have to cater this market, we have to cater this business.
Ah.
And we know what it takes to cater that business. Fortunately or unfortunately, the way services works is your revenue ends up being linearly proportional to the number of people you have. Because you have these many people, you're able to build up this amount of revenue, this amount of business. So in that sense, it got built to wherever it got built. But what's more important is, are you prepared for this kind of a scale up or a scale down in whatever situation you are in? So processes, backed with the necessary automation, is what we had invested in. The rest, everything, when it scaled also, we didn't realize. Or we never, today we are 200, or tomorrow we're going to become 250. The day after we're going to become 300. That never was a parameter.
What processes, as in if you can...
So for example,
Some examples,
you
yeah.
need to become predictable as a business.
Okay.
Today what you're doing with
You
10
need to
people,
become predictable for your client.
for your client, and for your people, and for everyone who's associated in running that business. That doesn't come easy. Even today we keep evolving for the better, but process sort of sets everything in the right tone, sets a rhythm, sets a discipline. So everybody knows, okay, if this is the kind of project that comes, this is how I serve it. And these are the different milestones, these are different deliverables, these are the different quality parameters that I have to keep in mind. This is how I do allocation, this is how I do monitoring of utilization. All of these are called processes in a typical services business.
Correct.
But it's not the end of everything, right? It's just process has been defined. We have made fancy flowcharts, all of that is done. Then you need to have a software that sort of backs it, right? Like a software built according to all these processes. So we had invested a lot of time in that, and that's allowing us to scale. So Honestly, if you ask me, does the number scare me? No, it doesn't scare me. We are actually prepared for scaling even more. And tomorrow, if we want to scale down, also we can scale down. So, I think number per se has never been the chief driver for us. Business is, market is. And towards that, we are very conscious that the process and automation has to remain stable and has to evolve.
So how do you train your employees so that they are not stuck in the execution always and they deliver good?
So training can be divided into two halves. You can say for beginners, people who are fresh out of the college.
Just out of the college, yeah.
Training has multiple facets to it, right?
Yes,
They're
yes.
not exposed to corporate world. They're not exposed to a certain rhythm of working in a certain manner. So there's multiple different aspect to their training.
Okay.
It has technology fundamentals. It has professionalism fundamentals. It has everything that requires for them to get started as professionals.
And how much time you give them?
So the technical part, interestingly, we probably are the only companies. The training part alone is just 1.5 months.
Okay.
Which is the fastest.
Okay.
We have, I would say, from experience, we have learned a certain way of training them,
Yeah.
and we've used those methods. These are the trainers are not. First of all, there is no classroom training. We don't believe in classroom training. We believe in individual attention. We believe in people. Also, our hiring techniques ensures that the kind of people who are coming in, the recruits we are getting in, are also able to scale up to that high demanding training schedule that we have. And so by 1.5 months, we have people who are ready to be deployed in projects.
Can you give some examples there, like 1 or 2 examples that you, what kind of training, what kind of methods you're talking about, right? That you learned.
So we have experienced people working in our company who have recorded videos
Okay.
of all the training sessions.
Okay.
And sometimes we have the same subject being recorded by 4 different people.
Okay.
And so for the same topic, you have 4 different versions of videos recorded, and it's left to the trainee to pick the video that he likes, that resonates with him or her,
Very nice.
and use it for their upskilling.
Sometimes if they're not able to understand it very clearly, then they hear the other video of another trainer covering the same topic.
Fantastic, man.
That might solve something.
So the interpersonal, the personal touch happens only for exceptions.
Got it.
Only when they're stuck or they're not able to progress. That's when someone spends a personal physical time with them in helping them understand where they're stuck.
So no physical trainings at all?
No, we have gotten that away.
That's what we used to do earlier. And there used to be a senior assigned to someone who's a fresher.
Correct.
They'll teach them, they'll give them activities, they'll learn. And as time passed, we realized that there was a more efficient way to do it. This is along the lines of the automation Praveen was talking about earlier.
Yes.
Where we said, let's save these videos. I think now our library is about 157 videos.
Amazing.
So a fresher has a schedule. We allow them to do a self-paced learning. So even when Praveen answered that, he said they take between a month to a month and a half, because we realize that somebody may be able to go faster, somebody is able to go slower. So we don't compel them all to move at the same pace.
That's
Everyone moves at their pace to a point that they feel confident and comfortable. And once they go through this training, we put them into a project. And almost everybody in our company is client facing.
Okay.
Maybe different organizations
Yeah.
choose to say only some seniors
Only
are client facing.
selective people.
Correct.
This project manager and this BA and this solution
Yes.
architect. But we said that when our team is solving problems for the client, they should hear the problems from the client. When they have a solution that they want to propose, they should be able to propose it to the client and get real-time feedback. If there is a reason it won't work, they might as well hear it from the client.
Correct.
So we get all of our people to start interacting with clients very early. It
Very
builds
nice.
a certain maturity, it builds a capability in them, and overall things move smoother. As a company, we took a call very early on that there is no politics in the company. There is no favoritism. So we are a more collaborative environment, not a competitive environment. So for person 1 to do well, they don't need person 2 to do badly. Person 1 and 2 can both be doing well.
Correct. Very
So
nice.
wherever there's an opportunity for some favoritism or for one person to be above the other, we try to hold away from those, and that's worked well for us. So
And this works as well for the experienced guys who come
So
in.
that's the next part of the training, which I was
yes.
going to tell.
Yes.
That's more upskilling and cross-training into newer technologies and newer areas. Because what we have realized is things are changing rapidly. And it's been the case always, right?
Correct.
So just because you have 3 years, 6 years, 10 years experience doesn't mean that you will stay relevant.
Correct.
You have to stay relevant as fast as technology is relevant,
Yes.
which you are working on. If new technology comes, you need to pick up skills. So those trainings keep happening, but those are not very scheduled. Those are not. There's no calendar for it.
Correct.
It happens as and when we identify a need. Luckily, our partnership with all our OEMs have been so strong that we have ensured that enablement trickles down to everyone in the company. And there we have a very structured process. People get certified. If somebody is not moving in the certification ladder, we have a one-on-one, we discuss with them. We ensure that everybody in the company uniformly stays relevant.
Nice. Also, I think you guys don't believe in micro managing people, because I think that's a big time culture. Still exists in a lot of corporates where they don't know where to let go.
Right.
The managers are scared to, oh my God, if I did this, then what will happen?
Correct.
So all of that.
I think what we've learned is that work has to be managed, not people.
Arey yaar, kya baat hai. Nice.
And generally, when we started the company, we told you, right, this is a social experiment to say, why don't organizations trust their people more? So we trust our people with an outcome. We give them the tools, we enable them with the environment that will help them achieve the outcome. We are there for them if they make a mistake. And the visualization that I like to draw often is like we tell our people that, we are giving you a canvas. As founders, we are laying the foundation for this company. We're giving you the outer boundaries of where you can go. But within that canvas which is there, you paint the picture that you want to paint.
Lovely.
So people are free to experiment, people are free to try different solutions, come up with different innovative ways to do things with clients. We are not trying to hire a whole bunch of robots who will just follow our instructions, will do the same things.
Yeah.
These are all people who come with an innate intelligence, and all of us want to do good work. Nobody ever wakes up and says, "Arey, let me go screw around at work." We all want to do good work.
Correct.
And our work is such an intrinsic part of our personalities. If you were sitting next to somebody on a flight and you had to introduce yourself, what would you introduce yourself as? You would say, "My name is Keshav and I am an anchor and I run these podcasts."
Correct.
We don't introduce ourselves as our father's children. We don't introduce ourselves as the city we come from. We
Correct.
don't talk about the school we went to. But our work
Is our identity.
such a core part of our identity. And if we had the ability to do it well, we would. So it's our job to give people that environment.
And
where
what do you
they
do
can
when
actualize themselves?
And what do you do when they make a lot of mistakes? Because when you're trusting
So-
them,
so
mistakes will happen.
We don't do micromanagement, we do micro assistance.
Nice.
In those situations. Basically, they need an assistance.
Of course.
I mean, like I said, nobody is purposely doing something wrong. They need a walking stick. They need someone to help and point them at the right direction. So that we do. That
Amazing.
for sure we do even today. Even I need micro assistance at places, right? And like if I'm going to a client who I've not managed and I have to have a conversation around a certain subject, the person who's managing the account will have to handhold me.
Yes.
Will have to micro assist me. So I'm having an effective conversation. So that happens.
So we actually see our organization chart as circular, not as a pyramid. And we say we are a circle, and whoever is in the front in any context is the leader and has the whole organization behind them.
Very nice, yeah.
So that is something that a lot of all this has to go together. You can't just do one of these independently.
Yeah, of course.
And then expect like a hierarchy to be established and people to report. So
Correct.
these work in tandem. Maybe I'd say 1% of the people make these mistakes willfully. So our policy is mistakes are okay, but negligence is not. Those who are being negligent, we'll try to help them do a little better.
So what's that one hiring mistake that cost you more than money? Is there any?
We still take a lot of time out for recruitment. We meet every individual that we hire, and that is our quality control. We try very hard that false negatives are okay, but false positives are not. What that means is, maybe there are times where there's a great candidate that we may miss out on because we had a negative opinion, but it was the wrong negative opinion. It was a great candidate, but this is a situation we are okay with. But a false positive is very dangerous, where we thought somebody was great and then they come into the organization, because then they're able to influence the culture a lot. They've gotten established, they work with people,
Yes.
there's structures built around people. So in that sense, we try quite hard to avoid these kinds of false positives. Of course, we've had a few, we've taken some chances, we've taken risks in hiring for some roles where there was an outcome expected, like Praveen was saying, sometimes in some sales roles, we've hired some very senior people who actually, when it comes down to delivering, are not able to do something. They did very well when they were a part of a large organization and in a big machinery, they are one of the cogs. They did well at that time, but when they come to our environment, where we've got to be frugal, we've got to be hands-on, we've got to be very scrappy with what we do, then they're not able to deliver.
One move again that I'm in the middle of my business, right? It's been 2-3 years, right? I'm doing so and so business in this tech services industry. What is one thing that I should take in terms of tech, hiring process, I don't know, systems, anything that you can help that, hey, this will work. If you're down the line, if you have, for example, 40 clients, 4-5 industries you're into, and you want to grow and you're stuck there, right? You're not able to broaden your sphere in terms of industries and clients. What is one thing that they can do and they can get in more people or more clients?
At that size, I think he or she should have already started investing into marketing and branding.
Okay.
Because you have 30 customers, which means the 30 customers are happy with what you've done so far.
Right.
And they themselves are a great source of marketing for you. So take that story to the world.
But how is the question?
You have to have branding and marketing running in tandem.
Case
together.
studies, video testimonials, client referrals, features.
But do they really help?
Big time. Big time. It's because your customer is speaking for you. Your customer's voice matters.
And we spoke earlier about how service is about building trust. So all of these are very big trust levers.
Correct.
Right. So maybe LinkedIn is the right place to post those videos to get business B2B?
Yeah, LinkedIn is definitely the B2B platform, but it's surprising how many decision makers are not even on LinkedIn. So it becomes easy to get very microscopic, get into that keyhole of thinking that, hey, LinkedIn is where I have to spend all my time, but it isn't. It's in-person meetings, it's interacting with them.
But how do you share your videos, testimonials? Like, where do you share them?
It gets to a point where the customer asks for it, or they want some proof of, hey, you've done this in the past. So that's, I think, a certainly important thing to do.
Yeah.
So how do you approach to handling delays in terms of clients and in terms of team also? Yeah,
I find it very frustrating. I find it almost impossible to cope with that. And
correct, to handle that.
When that happens, Praveen is my sounding board and he sort of calms me down and slows me down.
It's very difficult, honestly. I think, unfortunately, the two of us have slowed down a bit because of that. I would say our pace have been reduced because of it. This is something as a country may sound a little philosophical, but as a country, I think we should wake up and we should see from our education to our work style and the way we want to do anything in this country. I think time needs to be given precedence to. Everything else is given precedence to. Money is given precedence to. Even at sometimes quality is given precedence to. But time is always kept in the past.
Correct.
There are people who will say, I want this yesterday. I want it actually yesterday as part of your negotiation stance. But when actual work starts, everything opens up. Like any milestone is okay, any deadline is okay. Delays can happen forever. And that's very surprising. As a developing country, I think that's something, as an individual, everybody will have to learn to be very mindful of time. And the delays are very frustrating. And unfortunately, it happens everywhere.
Yeah, you cannot.
Happens on the client side, happens on our team side. We are working, at least what is in our control, we try to control. We try to correct. We try to again bring processes and automation, everything to keep check. Yet, it's a frustrating problem. And it exists.
See, there's a saying that goes, how you do anything is how you do everything.
Okay.
And we try to bring punctuality into something as basic as everyone shows up to a meeting on time. We have a rule which is a fun rule at WebDrive, that if somebody shows up late to a meeting by 2 minutes, then they have to dance for 2 minutes in that meeting.
Oh, wow. Nice.
And this has been a fun way that, the penalty is a light-hearted, fun penalty, but it's still something serious enough that people take on. Like, I think in our previous organization, there was a rule of if you're late to a meeting, you have to give some 10 rupees fine, and that money would get collected in a box. But we feel like what we're following here is a little better, and people take it very seriously. Every single meeting starts on time. Every
You see
single
the change
meeting ends
happen.
on time. And that then gets imbibed throughout.
We have an Air Force kid, man. So come on, that is one thing which is imbibed in an Air Force, or probably any army kid for that matter, since the beginning.
Discipline.
That discipline is
So
there.
delays are frustrating, but it just happens more often than we like.
So whenever a founder starts a company, many times we face false allegations, we face legal threats, we face non-paying clients. It's there.
Yeah.
Has it happened with you? And if yes, how did you handle that? Because I think that will be a
All of them.
big lesson. All of them?
All of the above.
Okay. Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you just briefly explain if
Part
it's
of all of
possible?
our difficulties when we started up, right? Our previous employer was not very happy that the two of us chose to leave. And there are people who have worked with us for a very long period of time. There is somebody in our company now, Chandu, who's worked with Praveen for nearly 18, 19 years now. From when he started his career. And every time Praveen moved somewhere, he's moved with Praveen.
Right.
So we feel like people work for people, not really for organizations. And there were people who we've had a significant impact on their careers. When we chose to leave, they were like, hey, if you're leaving, of course we are coming. There's no question about it. So there were individuals who chose to come along with us, and some of these things I think became quite a bit of a worry. And our previous employer somehow got very aggravated about it, chose to send us some legal notices, spread some misinformation about us that we had stolen data from the organization and gone. They started telling some of those people who were going to join us that, hey, these guys are in trouble, they're not really going to last, they're going to rescind your offer letter close to the date that you're joining, which there were a lot of half-truths, and often half-truths are worse than whole lies.
Right.
And we had to sort of battle these, we had to, just because we've constantly been very transparent, we've been very honest, people's faith in us came through. So we've got that legal notice from our previous employer of saying that, this is some non-solicited, but there was absolutely nothing that there was nothing that stuck. We hadn't done anything like that. And then we were even given one statement from someone over there where they said, look, we have a team of 29 lawyers. We will send all these legal notices. Then it's up to you to defend it.
Oh my God.
Do you really want to spend your time defending all this, or you want to build your business? So we faced a lot of those kinds of lines.
While we were having all these projects going down,
Yeah.
these things were also happening in parallel. So
And we told you we already had like those customers pull out. We had someone who cheated us out of that 28 lakh rupees. So we've gone through, I think, all of these troubles
Crisis.
have happened. Eventually, you just have to continue to believe that tomorrow will be better than today, and today will be better than yesterday, and things come around. Unfortunately, the sad reality is that out of every 10,000 companies, 9,999 of them don't last for 7 years.
Right.
And we all have this spotlight effect where we see the successes and we believe that that is the base case, that is the normal case. But eventually, for an organization to succeed, maybe a lot more has to go right. A lot of chance has to support. A lot of fortune has to be there. And then they succeed. Any one of these multiple things could fail, and that means that the organization then
Is gone.
is gone. So it takes a lot. The NVIDIA founder has very famously said that he was asked in a similar show that if you could go back 20 years and speak to yourself at the time that you were starting the company, what is the advice you would give yourself? And he said, I would tell myself, don't start this company. Right? Because entrepreneurs are eternal optimists.
Right.
An entrepreneur jumps off a cliff and builds a plane on the way down.
Right.
So that is a grittiness, that is a survival instinct that
And that's a
we have to
confidence
have.
that one has.
and the confidence that ठीक है देख लेंगे जो है.
Any system that you put in the place and it failed miserably and you never thought of that this will fail, but it failed.
So we as an organization have not been able to crack and solve marketing as a problem.
Okay.
Most of our business today has come into us as referral,
Yeah.
word of mouth, because we've built a reputation, we do well in this space. But we've tried and we've tried again and multiple times, I'd say 8-9 times that we've failed at marketing. We've done well with branding. The difference between those two, branding is who we are and what the image we want to form. Marketing is taking that message out to people.
Correct.
And unfortunately for us, that marketing is a skill we don't have. When we have found people that could do it for us, who we felt were good, we realized they marketed themselves quite well to us. But the actual delivery doesn't happen.
Okay.
And we spend some time and then we're like, hey, what is going on away? It's just time that's getting lost. A lot of energy, money, time is getting lost, but we're not getting anywhere. So I think with that, it's been a failure, but being entrepreneurs, we have to be eternal optimists and perpetual optimists.
Yeah.
So we continue to be hopeful, we continue to keep trying it again, because when it does click for us, it will be worth it.
Got it. So now again, this boss move segment comes, but this is more of for the viewers who are watching us right now. So say there's a founder who is watching us right now, who's in the services, tech services business. What boss move you ask them to take, which may help them grow their business? That this boss move you must take.
I think a global outreach,
Okay.
not be very dependent on one market, work with lots of different clients with different cultures, and eventually innovation is nothing but cross-pollination, right? You take something from one industry and you apply it into another. You take something from one market and you apply it into
Cross.
another. So the more you're willing to work at a global scale, the more you're learning, the more your maturity, the more your stability. And in today's day and age, it's not very hard to do.
Yeah.
So I'd say that's something one must aspire, must work towards doing.
So go global while staying local. Something like that.
Yeah, that's a nice catchphrase.
Yeah. And like we've been repeating this now time and again, is stay invested in people. Don't let your trust fall on your people. And that's important. It's your people who are going to bring your business in.
So
You don't lose your trust in them and don't allow their trust in you to break.
So since you've been in this industry from past 9-10 years, right? Can you help me understand 3 reasons or 3 things that a new founder should not compromise on when they are starting off their business? That hey, these 3 things don't compromise. I am telling you, with my experience, things will work. Don't compromise here. What are those?
I think, like we've said multiple times today, cash. Having a cash flow that helps you, allows you to fight another day is very critical. Maybe in the media today, it's all very fancy to see the number of companies accruing large losses and having VCs funding them. That's at least not the ground reality that I think all of us who don't make it into the news, that's the ground reality we face. The few that make it into the news might be 0.0001%, have this kind of flush with cash situation. But that's not the reality. So I think cash flow is certainly what I'd say is do not compromise, don't take it for granted.
Correct.
If you think you have 8 months of runway, assume you have 4 and operate like that. That's the only way to do it. You can't, no one can, I would never fault somebody for being too cautious with cash. What else?
Anything else, Praveen, you want to
Stay
add
true
on?
to your objective.
Okay.
See, it's important why you started a company, right? Like, many may say, I wanted to make money, I started a company. Many may say, I wanted to be independent, I started a company. A few might say that, I have a lot of money, so I'm starting a company. Whatever that is, right? Stay true to your objective, and it means that you're not going to, stop taking risk. You're not going to not be honest, and you're not going to be lying just to stay afloat.
Yes.
Right? And these 3 are very, 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 very important because it will come back to bite you.
I think you have to just be very authentic.
Authenticity.
Be who you are.
Yes.
Correct. and be just stay focused on your objective. To be honest, when we started, our objective has evolved.
Yeah.
Right? What the objective? There are few things which are very concrete.
Yeah.
Those have not changed.
Yeah.
For example, happiness is concrete, right?
Base layer.
We're not going to compromise on that. We have stayed true to it. But there are a few other things. Like we decided we may not expand into other cities. We may stay within a group of 20 or 30 developers. That's it. We've gone on to become some other company. We felt we may not be doing staffing, but we are doing staffing. We may not focus on product development. We are doing product development. So those business tactical decisions we can take, could be even strategic decisions, but your true objective you can't compromise on. You just can't compromise on. Then you are anyone's music.
Very nice.
So yeah.
6 years into the business, 7 years into the business, but they're not able to grow and scale. What are the major reasons for that?
So services is a very people dependent business. If we want to double our business today, we need double the number of people. But or like at least 75% more people.
Got it.
Some direct proportion higher than what we are today. This is not true in a product. This is not true in a pharma company.
Yeah.
There are lots of industries where this doesn't apply. So a lot depends on the kind of talent that we are able to attract, on the kind of talent we are able to retain, sustain, grow. So services businesses will always have that challenge, that we are people dependent. I think Narayan Murthy said very nicely that our primary asset walks out of the office every evening and comes back the next morning. And that is our asset.
Amazing.
It's a lot of emotions we have to handle, a lot of ambitions, a lot of personality quirks, and that's not like a machine, right? It's not like a manufacturing saying, अच्छा चलो ये machine यहाँ पे on किया, यहाँ पे ये input किया, वहाँ पे वो output आया. So it's, of course there are people there too, but not as much dependency as what an industry like us has.
Yeah, from our experience, we have seen, especially the companies which have struggled to grow and have also folded, is misplaced priorities. Founders spending lavishly, not putting company's interest first, and then critical decisions not taken at critical times, delayed, unable to exercise flexibility to move around in any direction. For example, tomorrow AI is going to be the thing. How adaptable are you? How soon are you able to pick up a new skill? How soon are you able to accept that there has to be a change in mindset? All of this. And lastly, the most important thing, at least my assessment, I think Molly can add more, is people are able to start companies purely basis their technical skills and their prior experience. But what they don't understand, running any business is all about how you manage your cash.
Correct.
Right? All about how you manage your expenses. That mathematics is so important that sometimes you're so focused about your tech skills, you're so focused about technology, you miss the very fundamental of running a business. Right? And I think maybe you can throw some light on it. But I feel that's a very significant part in sustaining and growing.
But for a new founder, it's very tough to build that trust in the first few client calls, client meetings, all of that, and personal branding plays a major role there. So what do you suggest? How to build that trust? What things one should follow, one founder should follow to build that?
See, when somebody is starting a business, we've realized that you need to be able to juggle many, many hats. You need to be able to manage many stakeholders.
Correct.
What are these stakeholders? Customers,
Right.
vendors, partners, landlords, the government, auditors, lawyers, and the most critical of all of these, employees. We need to be able to manage each of them with their expectations, with their biases, with their angle with which they expect something from us. So we need to be able to be versatile enough to handle all of these fairly well. Setting up a company it looks very glamorous, I think, from the outside, but the harsh realities is we need to be able to be the master of all trades.
Yes.
And to be able to, that personal branding you're saying, or what do we need to do first? Maybe the thing that I would say, and I think Praveen might have an answer of his own, is that you have to genuinely care about your customer. You have to genuinely care about your people. You cannot fake it. Those appearances will just give away very quickly. But if you genuinely care for them, if you have worked on yourself to be good at what your offering is, then there is success to be found.
And that's important. You will have to take risk, calculated risk, but that's important. You can't shy away from it. You can't assume that you will take a very safe net. You'll always feel secure. Every decision you are going to take is going to give you returns. Then I think you must be the luckiest guy.
So the risk reward ratio is a very real thing. It is very proportionate, and there's also a nice way that somebody articulated it, that you are paid in direct proportion to the complexity of the problem you solve.
Okay.
Mukesh Ambani has solved the telecom problem for the country.
Yes.
Has solved oil and gas problem for the country. These are all very complex, very large problems to solve, which is why he has earned what he has earned and he is where he is.
Correct.
Elon Musk has solved the EV problem for the world. He's solving the Mars problem for humanity. These are highly complex problems. So when you solve a complex problem, there are some risks that come associated with it. And if there is one skill that I think both Praveen and I agree any entrepreneur needs to have, it's that the ability to assess risk and to not overextend themselves for something that they will not be able to sustain. You know, in Hindi में बोलते हैं अपने पाँव खाली इतने ही फैलाओ जितने आपकी चादर. Don't bite off more than you can chew. You will be able to chew more tomorrow.
Of course.
There will be another day. If you survive, then there is another day. If you don't survive today, then it doesn't matter what opportunity comes in front of you.
Learning to say no is an art which a founder, I think, has to learn, come what may.
Correct.
And I'm sure you've learned your way through, you know.
Yeah.
So how has that been, and have you learned to say no?
It's a continuous learn.
Right.
I can't say that we have learned completely. So no, in different situations,
Right.
how big an impact this no is going to cause, that keeps changing.
Right.
And so nobody can say, no, forget entrepreneurs. Nobody in the world can say that, you know, I've now learned completely to say no. But we have the heart to say no. We have the character and strength to say no. We say no only when we know that this is not going to cause a material difference or a problem to the person we are working with, it's customer or a partner. But if it's going to cause an issue, we know that it's better to say no upfront than to say yes and then fail later. It's better to say no upfront. So we do that. We have said multiple different times no. Very recently also, a very critical decision that we had to take, and I was in the front and I had to say a no. And it wasn't easy at all. And I know we are still working our way through with the repercussion that comes along with the no.
Right.
When somebody is offering you to do a certain work, you see there is a return attached to that work, but then later during a certain point in time, you feel there's a lot of pain attached to it and questioning your happiness. You have to go back and then say no. But I wouldn't delay that no. I would say the no now.
Quick decision.
Yes. And you don't want to build a dependency, build a confidence on other person's mind. Instead, you say, no, it's not going to work. It's not my cup of tea.
But don't you think so? Sometimes you squeeze the team a bit so that I can get this a little extra money from the client, or probably, I don't know, something like that.
We have, but not for money or not for. There were situations where we realized the client himself or herself is in a tough spot or is in a tough situation. And if we could take that extra time and if we are able to squeeze in and complete, that particular person is going to be seen in a good light within the client. And this person has backed us and has been with us, so we should do it. And then the most important thing, this is what as entrepreneur all of us has to decide, is that you can't push in you can't thrust your decision into your team members. You have to get their buy-in.
Correct.
You have to sit with them, explain this is the situation, what do you guys think? Then they own the decision together. But if you go and say that, hey, I need you to do this and this is how we're going to do it, maybe they'll do the work for you, but they don't own it. They'll feel like, okay, you told me, I'm doing it. Right? So,
all right, so time for quick rapid fire. I'll ask questions. You can briefly answer them. One word, one line. Works for me.
Answer can be slow, right?
Yeah, it can be. Not a problem.
Questions will be fast.
All right. Best sales lesson you've ever learned in your life?
Genuinely be interested in your customer.
Say the truth upfront.
Client story you'll never forget. Can be a
Our
two-line.
largest deal was closed with a 5-hour conversation that I had with the client where we never discussed the project at all.
Wow. And the client was onboarded.
The discussion was about our philosophies, the discussion was about our values, about so many other things, and
Nice.
eventually the client was like, hey, I feel like we should do this project.
Hey, nice. Very nice.
That's
How
a
do you
big
enjoy when you hear such things?
We shake hands and we move on.
What are you saying? No?
We don't
Seriously?
celebrate our victories, we don't cry about our losses. We take both into our stride. So there is ups and there is downs. We treat both of them exactly the same.
Yeah, I'm going to take that as, if I can extend this lesson for all the entrepreneurs also.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Humility is 100% more important than anything else, whatever we have discussed so far. If you don't learn to be humble, if you don't stay humble with both success and failure, if you don't treat them alike, then it's going to be difficult for you.
Great. One tool that your business can't live without.
Scotty.
Scotty, that you've built inside,
Yeah.
and now now others can also use that.
Of course, if anybody would like to reach out to us and take a look at Scotty, use it in your own organizations.
Great.
Please do reach out.
Please, definitely. A mindset every founder should build.
I think resilience and tenacity. To just consistently be able to stay at the same thing without any loss of enthusiasm, without any loss of motivation.
Cool.
Yeah, positive and the stamina. You need to have that stamina, resilience, like you said. Yeah.
Nice. If not this business, what would you be doing today?
Selling Vada
Vada
Pavs.
Pav.
The old story, man. The old
Yeah.
story.
In fact, we might be having one right after this.
Definitely. Reading habit starter tip. So since Maulik reads a lot.
Yeah, don't turn it.
If you're not enjoying a book, just drop it.
Huh.
Try another one. You will find a book that calls to you, the book that you can't put down and you want to just get back and read a little bit more. So until you find that book, don't force yourself to read something that isn't really appealing to you. And it doesn't have to be expensive. You can like buy a Kindle Unlimited plan, which is like some 200 rupees a month. With an Amazon Prime account, you get access to millions of books. You can join a library somewhere nearby. So there's a way to get access to books in an inexpensive way, and find a genre that works for you. Find an author that works for you. Don't try to force yourself. You'll kill reading as a habit, not just that book which you'll drop.
Got it. Money first or passion first?
Passion first,
Huh.
and that takes care of money, I feel. It has done for us. So.
But I feel like money first because it's existential, right? When you don't have the luxury of excess, then you can't. So one of our mentors, when we started the company, quite nicely told us, what will you do for your stomach and what will you do for your soul?
Correct.
And you have to balance out the two. You can't only take care of your stomach, or you can't only take care of your soul.
Very spiritual guy, yaar. I think he can become a sadhu after 10 years. I am the
Better not. Better not.
The retirement that he was talking about at 30, no, it might happen at
Happen
40,
much
45. It's like,
That's the biggest business plan there is.
Very profitable. Extremely profitable.
oh God, crazy. Okay, morning routine or midnight hustle?
No sleep at all. Morning routine and midnight hustle.
Oh, the or is removed by I. Yes.
Always the same.
Really? Okay.
Because we keep, I don't know a time in the clock where we have not spoken.
There is nothing called a work-life balance. It's work and life are not two opposite things. They're the same thing. The balance will not be a line in the center. The line keeps moving. And as long as it doesn't tip over on either side, that's a balance. So sometimes we have to take time off from work to do personal stuff. Sometimes take time off from personal to do work. And if we have the choice of choosing, if we have the freedom of exercising our control on it, that is very liberating.
What's more fun, pitching to a client or closing the deal?
Oh man, closing the deal any day.
Closing the deal, for sure.
Closing the deal, huh?
There's a certain thrill, like that's
It's
the
a
kick
hype.
On the world.
that we are working for. That's what the pitch, that's what the build-up is.
Don't you feel कि हो गया यार? Like this thought comes to your mind?
Not
Okay,
really,
now
yeah.
it's done, bro. Like I'm.
So he doesn't. I have had those. Those are the times I go to him.
Huh.
I do feel that, sometimes it's a very frustrating conversation,
Yeah.
and I've like put in everything, and then things are going out of control, and
Yeah.
and for some reason I feel that somebody's not cooperating. Whatever that is, like it's the moment of helplessness that I do call him and I'm saying, man, I'm done. I'm just not able to take it, right? Then he would say, hey, okay, it's fine, sure, we'll talk a little later. Take an easy chill pill. We'll talk tomorrow morning, let's say.
Is it?
Everything disappears.
That's how
So
you act,
that
Malik?
that momentary thing is there.
For me, I don't run out of patience with things.
Yeah, I can see that.
I'm willing to just stay at it and there's a
Extremely
lot of
patient, no?
things-
Yeah.
Happiest wife ever you've got, no? Because anything she'll say, he'll be like,
She's listening to it, huh?
Yes, my
Yeah.
wife is the happiest woman in the whole world. No, but I think I am the happiest man in the whole world thanks to her and thanks to my work wife also.
yeah. Right. Great. Okay. One book every entrepreneur must read.
There's a fiction book called Cain and Abel by Jeffrey Archer.
Okay.
Just the number of interesting business lessons that are said in that book. For example, there's a scenario where one of those characters has invested into an airplane company and he says a line of saying that the airplanes have to be in the sky, otherwise the company doesn't make money. So a lot of us see our assets in a business as something we have to preserve, protect, keep it safe, don't run it if it's not required, but our asset is supposed to be running. That's how it generates something for the business. Like something like this was a very simple lesson given in a very simple way, but left a lasting impact for me. So I must
Nice.
have gifted like 100, 200 copies of this book
Is it?
by now.
Nice.
I'd recommend it to everybody.
I made sure he read it.
When I was 9 years old, you came in and told me to read it.
Oh God, crazy. No, we are not going there. Okay.
Yeah.
Superb. So now we come to the segment which is called Guest Brand Plug. What is the future of Warp Drive? If you want to mention anything, who's the viewers are watching us right now, you can tell them about Warp Drive, what you're looking at, anything that you want to talk for your brand, about your brand, to the viewers. You can do that.
So we are Warp Drive. We are a software services firm that's in Bangalore, Bombay, Delhi, and Dubai with our offices. But we serve clients everywhere. We have a team everywhere. We are always looking for incredible people to join our team as a Warpster, which means you could either be a member of our delivery team, you could be a member of our client team, you could be a client to us. So if you're looking to be a part of an organization that really means something, that's a happy place to be, we'd love to talk to you. So please reach out and let's see where this goes.
Super. Yeah. Anything, Praveen, you want to add?
We are a bunch of happy people. You want to be happy, join us. You'll be even more happy.
Because I'm happy, clap along.
That's what I meant.
Very nice. Great, yeah. Thank you so much for doing this with me. Thank you so much for coming to BOSScast. I'm sure you've all loved listening to lovely, amazingly different founders. Right.
Big age difference between us.
No,
yaar, I think just crossed 32, no?
He was born in 32.
Okay, you were closing the.
No, but we enjoyed this a lot also.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Absolutely.
having us. I think a lot of introspection, retrospection that happened because of this, we'll truly enjoy.
Perfect. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this story inspired you. Take the first step towards your business with Wallah, #1 platform for entrepreneurs from Bharat. Our app offers 500 plus business courses in 6 languages, a powerful BBAI tool to help you choose and start your business, built-in task tracking, and direct access to industry experts through Expert Connect. Everything you need to start and grow your business now in one place. Download the Wallah app. Link is in the channel profile and description below.
Bosswala. Be the boss.